Hello there, my name's Claire and this is Stitch Hem Sew. Thank you so much for joining me today for another video. Now today's video is going to be all about my June plans. So if that interests you, please stick around with me today. So we're already a little bit into June, so apologies for that. But I thought I'd still like to bring you my proposed plans for June. Now, as always, I've probably been a little bit ambitious, so it may be that I don't get all of these done, or that the odd additional project sneaks in and one gets pushed out, but this is what I'm thinking about right now, so I thought I would chat through them for you. Now, the first project, because we're a little bit into June, I've actually already done. So I'm going to, I can't show you the actual make because my husband is wearing it today, but I will show you the fabric that I have made it from and the pattern that I've done. So this was my first plan for June, and it has already been and gone, if you like. So it's the tropical shirt from Wardrobe by Me. It's a pattern that I've made for him before, previously last year, and I've whipped up another version for him. He chose the fabric. We went to an actual fabric shop, which was lovely, and this is the fabric that he chose. So this is a Pima cotton lawn fabric. It's beautiful quality and lovely to sew with, and I will hopefully pop a picture in of him wearing that. So that was my first plan that has already been done, so I won't go into too much detail about that. I'll talk a little bit more in detail once I go through my June makes towards at the end of the month into July. The next plan I've got is actually for a brand ambassador role, so I did actually receive this for free in return for making up a garment and popping it on my Instagram and things, and it is this gorgeous cotton poplin fabric from the wonderful UK Fabrics online. Now, I don't believe this is online on their website just yet, but it will be in the next few weeks, so do keep your eye open for that. They're very much hoping to extend their dressmaking range that they carry, and this was sort of the beginning of that, if you like, of us sort of testing out some of these fabrics. Now, this is just gorgeous. It feels beautiful, and I'm very much looking forward to sewing this up. I'm looking to make a skirt, and what I'm thinking of doing now, I haven't 100% decided, so it may well change, but my thought is I absolutely love the Jennifer Lauren Bastion culottes. I really love the fact that it's got a lovely fat front. There isn't, because it's not elasticated, you don't get that sort of bunched up effect, which kind of adds more volume at a point where I don't really want it to. And so what I'm thinking of doing is hacking it into a skirt. Now, I think that if I just cut the front piece on the fold and follow the line down of the front of it, then I should be able to create the front piece, and the same with the back, and then the waistband and the pockets and everything would be the same, and you would get into the skirt in the same way that you get into the Bastion culottes, which is kind of through the pocket area. I'll pop a picture in of the line drawings, etc., for the Bastion culottes, and if I can find one, a picture of me wearing the Bastion culottes. Now, I really like these in the summer months because it feels like you're wearing a skirt. It looks very much like that, obviously, but you've kind of got the ease of wearing kind of shorts at the same time. However, I think this time round that I would like it to be a skirt rather than the clots, but I haven't ruled out making the clots either, or potentially another skirt, but I think hacking the pattern is probably the way I'm going to go. So that's with this beautiful cotton poplin from UK Fabrics online. Now, the next project is something to really go with that skirt. Now, I picked this fabric up from a swaps table at a sewing social that I go to, and I didn't at that point know that I was getting the cotton poplin, but I just think this is going to make a great t-shirt. So I am thinking of trying out the Love Notions Laundry Day t-shirt. Now this is a pattern that I have not tried before, but it is a free pattern if you sign up to their newsletter, and I know that it's been talked about loads of times through sort of So Frugal videos, etc. And I'm going just to go with a short sleeve t-shirt, potentially a v-neck, haven't quite decided, but with the short sleeves, but this sort of version t-shirt. I think it's going to work out quite nicely. It will give me the, so it's more fitted on the bust area and then sort of goes out at the waist and hips, which I think will be perfect for me. But as you can see, there are a number of different versions that you can do, including, you know, a crew neck or this sort of cowl option, a v-neck, and you can make it into various different skirts lengths, or you can do like a tunic length. So for a free pattern, amazing. If you haven't checked it out, well worth checking out. And the sizings go from an extra small to 5X, so really good size range on this one as well. So well worth checking out if you haven't already done so, because as I say, a free pattern. So I think that will be absolutely gorgeous together, and really looking forward to getting those two sewn up. Now, keeping along with the royal blue theme, I have got some viscose fabric that's kind of got a linen look to it. I'm not sure whether that's going to show up on the camera or not. You might have to take my word for it. But I am thinking a Donny shirt to go with this. Now, I made one last month, the Donny, and so I was really pleased with how it came out. The only thing that I found that I needed to adjust for the next time if I was going to do it was I found that the pocket placement was quite off to the side, and I felt that it needed bringing over a little bit, and I know a couple of people have mentioned that in their videos as well. So if you are making the Donny shirt, just be careful with that placement. There is some top stitching that holds the facing down, so obviously you can't move it too far over, so remember that when you're kind of putting it on, because obviously you put the pocket on, I think it's like the first thing you do. But yeah, just be aware of the top stitching, where that's going to end up, but you might find that you need to move that pocket across. Now, I'm not sure I'm going to include the pocket on the next one. I don't think it's particularly necessary for me. I quite like how it looks, but equally I wouldn't mind it without, so I may not include the pocket. But I think in this lovely royal blue for summer, it will look lovely and will look great with that outfit. But also I can pair this with jeans, I can wear black trousers with it, navy, whatever, you know, it's just going to go with so many things. And I think it will be a great additional item in my wardrobe. Now, the next couple of makes that I'm thinking of making are for a sewing challenge that is being run in the month of June. Now, there's a couple of sewing challenges that I'm hoping to take part in. One is So Fruity, and I'll talk about that in a few minutes. And the other is a blood pressure, raising awareness for blood pressure, illness, etc. And that is being run by the lovely Bianca from B Silver Creates. Now, the name of the challenge is So Blood Pressure UK 23. And the idea behind the challenge is obviously to raise awareness in relation to blood pressure issues, but also to the idea is that you sew up something that has perhaps been on your mind, on your sewing list, if you like, for a while, and you've been kind of putting it off. And so to try and encourage us to make one of those makes. Now, there are two items that have been in the back of my mind or on my sewing plans for ages now. So I would like to get both of them done, but I may only get the one done depending on timings, etc. But I thought I'd share both of them with you today. So the first one is with this gorgeous fabric here. Now, this is a modal fabric, jersey modal, so it's got a nice lot of drapes, and what I am thinking of making with this is the named patterns. I'll put it up on the screen if I've got that wrong, Kilo wrap dress. Now this is a dress that I have been wanting to make for ages and ages and ages and just haven't got round to making. Now the lovely Adele from Sofa Serenity has very recently made one. She made one last year as well, but she made one sort of in the last sort of week or two, I believe, which she looks gorgeous in. But the person that has really inspired me to crack on and get this done is the lovely Katie from Whatever Katie Sews, who is on Instagram, and she absolutely loves the Kilo wrap dress. I can't remember how many she said that she's made, but it's more than a handful. So she really rates the pattern, and she gives me she keeps telling me, you've got to make it, you've got to try it, you've got to try it. So I'm doing it. I'm going to try and get this one sewn up as the Kilo wrap dress, and we'll see if I like it. Now I think you can make it as a dress, or you can make it as like a jumpsuit. I'm definitely going for the dress option. I'm probably not going for the long length. I'm probably going to cut it off around about the knee, just below the knee or something like that. We'll see once I've given it a go what I like. But yeah, it's a bit of an interesting one for me, because obviously it feels a little bit more body hugging, figure hugging dress, so I don't know whether I'm going to like it. But sometimes we have to push ourselves a little bit out of our comfort zone to try something that perhaps we don't know whether we're going to like, because sometimes those are the patterns that we love the most. So yeah, I'm going to give that one a go. Next thing that I'm hoping to sew up in the month of June is the Sorrento jacket by Sew Over It. Now this is part of their Summer Dreaming ebook, and it is something that I have definitely been wanting to sew up for at least a year, from at least last summer sort of time. And I think I put on my make 9 that I wanted to sew up something from that particular ebook, and I definitely had in mind at that point that it would be the Sorrento. Now I have got this needle cord, navy needle cord, in my stash that I think will be a great sort of starting point for the Sorrento, because I didn't pay a huge amount of money for it, so I'm not, if it, you know, it doesn't all work out, or I don't get the sizing quite right, I haven't lost out huge amounts of money. But it's also got a little bit of stretch, and I just think that will be really comfortable in a denim jacket, which obviously isn't denim, a corduroy jacket in this case. But I've also bought all the jeans buttons, etc. I happened to see them on Amazon at a really decent price a couple of months ago at least, and I snapped them up at that point when they would just happen to be on a bargain price. So yeah, I'm pretty much ready to go with this one. I have got the pattern printed on AO, so that's all ready to go. So I haven't really got any excuse to do this other than just getting my bum in and getting it going. But it is one that feels a bit more involved, and so I'm definitely, I'm putting off a little bit. So, but it's definitely up there for that particular challenge between that and the Kilo wrap dress, that I think that I would try and enter for that particular challenge, because these ones have definitely been on my to make list for some time. Now the other challenge that I'm looking to enter in the month of June, and I'm sure you all heard all about it, is So Fruity. So Fruity 23. Yvette from Blossom Sandwich has been running this challenge for a few years now, and the idea is that you sew up fruity themed fabrics, or sort of fruit inspired fabric. So it doesn't actually have to have fruit on it. It could be a sort of a orange fabric, or a sort of a citrusy flavour, or a very sort of strawberry or raspberry based coloured fabric that kind of reminds you of fruit. So it doesn't necessarily have to have like a novelty print on it, but to sew up your fruity themed makes for the challenge. So last year I bought this particular piece of fabric. Now it is a French terry, so reasonably thin, but as we all know, at this time of year we still sometimes need a jumper. So I was hoping to use this fabric last year for So Fruity, but it didn't arrive in time. It took about a month to get here, which I was really annoyed about at the time. However, that's worked to my advantage this year because I've already got the piece of fabric. Now I am looking to just sew up a sweatshirt with this. I'm either going to use the Billy sweatshirt by Tilly and the Buttons, or the Hug hoodie, which is by Made It Patterns, which unfortunately do not trade anymore. But I've made that particular pattern before, and I really love the crossover detail at the bottom. I probably won't make the hood on it, just add the crew neck. And I've picked up some ribbing fabric to go with it, which is not quite a match, but pretty near a match to the darker blue spots on there, and I think that would look really nice. So this is kind of like a light navy kind of colour, and I think that kind of picks out these colours quite nicely. This is a particularly sort of loud fabric for me and I don't necessarily know it's one that I'm going to leave the house in. Now that is no criticism to anybody else that has got the fabric that chooses to. It's just I'm not sure for me whether I will have whether I've got the guts, if you like, to leave the house in it. We'll see once it's made up and how much I love it. So those are all of my plans for June. I'm sure things might change along the way, but that's where I'm at the moment. That's what I'm thinking of. Probably quite a lot to achieve in the month of June, especially as we're not at the beginning of June. But hey ho, I have managed to do one make already, which I've obviously already talked about. So even if that's all I've achieved, I've done one bit of sewing for the month of June. No, I'm sure there'll be lots more to come as well. So those are my plans for June. Do let me know if you've sewn up any of those patterns before, if you've got any hints and tips for me, and I'll be back later on in July to talk through how everything went with those makes and what I ended up making. So I hope you've enjoyed today's video. If you have, please do give me a like. If you haven't subscribed, I'd really love it if you would consider doing so. But until next time, take care, happy sewing, bye bye.